Good evening, everybody. I don't want to say yet another edition. Jugush is so used to saying yet another edition. Let me just say it's another episode of THR. I'm so excited to be here. Uh, yes, Jugush, karibu sana. How are you, my good friend? How was your week?
Salama kabisa. That's my line. You
Mm.
get your line and stick to it. Wachana na yangu.
Yeah. Inaeleweka.
Well,
Let's start. Let's go straight into it because we are late. I wasn't available over the
mhm,
weekend, but some shocking results. We
mhm,
have a team that lost a match. I think they've
mhm.
stayed over 10 seasons without losing a single match. Uh, and then
Yeah.
we had another big header being played, top of the table
Mhm,
clash between Battalion Police, a controversial one.
mhm.
I heard that there are some calls that were not fair enough. So, what's your reaction for? Let's start with the Blazers versus Strathmore match. Shocking result, expected result, or
I was coming in from somewhere on Limuru Road,
Mhm.
up completely, and I came in and I saw the scoreboard was 2-0. And
Mhm.
I was with my good friends from the fourth estate. And one thing I first started by asking them, "What's that score for? Which
Mhm.
team does it belong to?" And then they told me, "It is the unexpected one." And I got
Mhm.
shocked, completely shocked. But for like two quarters, because I came for the other half,
Mhm.
um, you could clearly see, Blazers are struggling completely. In fact, I have a clip. I know we're going to play it at some point.
Mhm.
Just the reaction of the two coaches. But it was a very shocking match to some, but again, it's not to others. I know if you are in that pitch, you clearly see, you know, Strathmore were very determined, and I remember telling you here. In fact, a
Mhm.
big shout out to our fans who watch this show. The first thing I sat down, they told me, gari ya moshi imechemuka lakini hakuna mahali inaenda.
Bado iko station.
Bado iko station haijaanza kutoka.
Mm.
But you could clearly see, on the Strathmore side, they really trained and were really psyched up for this game. And I remember
Mm.
telling you, don't be surprised, because these two university sides always depend on one another. If one team is beaten one weekend and the next fixture is the other team, the results will always be known. But if one team holds each other, and
Mm.
that was in, I think, 2016, when USIU drew with um, with Strathmore, or it was Strathmore first. I think it was Strathmore. No, it was USIU first, which again drew with Blazers. And the following weekend, you could clearly see. No, it was Strathmore, and then USIU came
Yes,
and
yeah.
played. But you could clearly see Blazers were struggling with that match.
Mm.
But also, one of the things for me that I noted was, a lot of unfitness. It wasn't just Nile Siku, and don't take me badly, Blazers players and fans and even the technical bench. Mi nitasema ni ile siku ya nyani kukufa ilikuwa imefika, na indeed
Mm.
that is
Ile,
what
ile
had happened.
ile ya miti yote inateleza.
Miti zote ziliteleza hiyo siku. You could,
Mm.
I mean, I could, in that half, I recorded about four penalty corners, but nothing was just working for them.
Mm.
Nothing
Mhm.
was just
Mhm.
working for them. So for me, I think it wasn't that day for Blazers, but we cannot nonetheless write them off, because they are one team that show up anytime, and when they show up, I am sure it's not going to be. In fact, I really fear for the next team that is going to meet Blazers, which I think is DFG Wolverines.
Mm. Yeah,
Yeah.
remember when we were doing the preview for the game, I said that
Mhm.
Blazers don't quite look like the same team. that you're used to seeing. Yeah, we watched the USIU versus Blazers match, and something was missing in that match, and I predicted that if they go with the same tactics, with the same mentality, with the same play against Strathmore, they will not get a result. And for sure, you saw Strathmore getting a win. Blazers, yeah, you can't write them off. They're perennial champions. They are used to winning. They know how to handle difficult moments. They still have players who have that international experience, and of course, I think the fact that they stayed for over 2 years without playing a single match, competitive match, is a huge difference. Teams we've seen teams coming in, they are not performing as we are used to seeing them performing. But I think this is a wake up call for Joss and his team, for the ladies as well, to step up. The Premier League, and I said last in the last show that the Premier League will be a game, or will be a league that will be decided by fine margins. Whoever takes care of the smaller things, the smaller details, is going to win the matches. Case in point, that match. I didn't watch it, but I got to see the reaction. I got to read the articles. I got to speak to some people who watched it. And as you've said, it's more or less a matter of taking your chances, a matter of organizing yourselves, and also scouting your opponents. Yeah, I know it's a hard one to take. It's a hard one to take because Blazers are not used to losing league matches. I think the last time they dropped points was a draw against either USAU Strathmore. I can't really remember it, but to have them lose a league
The draw
match,
is the only thing they have only done
yeah,
for the last over 10 years. In fact, I talked to Ataro and I asked her, Ataro, when was the last time you ever lost a match? And she was like, I can't remember.
yeah, yeah. Since
Yeah.
since Hockey KE, we started gathering hockey data, hockey
Mm,
statistics in 2016. We have not recorded a single league loss
mm,
in our platform, in our system. It's always a win 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 win, one or two draws here and there. Yeah, they've lost a couple of tournaments. They've lost a couple of matches as well in tournaments, but in the league they've always had that win record. They've got a couple of seasons where they are unbeaten. Since 2016 till now, how many are those seasons for them to
mm,
actually lose a league match? But remember, every team has a cycle. There are teams that do dominate for some time and then they drop off. They will take a few years to come back to the top, and then they continue dominating. You remember back in the day before Telcom, there used to be a team that was dominating until their time came. You remember the likes of Blue Eaglets; those were the big teams back then. Now
yeah.
we had Orange, we had Telecom, now Blazers. Probably it's someone else's time to dominate. But as we've said, you cannot write off Blazers and just say they are done. No, they are a
Yeah.
team that they have experience. They have young talented players that are also coming through, and I'm sure that as the season goes by, they are going to sort it out and uh, and come back. But so much about Blazers. It's good to see Meshach Senge and Strathmore getting that win. That's good for them because it opens up that title challenge. I said last week that it might end up being a Blazers, USIU, and Strathmore race.
Mhm. Yeah. In fact, let's just listen to what Coach Ataro said after that game.
Mhm.
They were the best side today. I accept they were the best side today. Our defense took us off guard. We didn't manage our defense quite well, and they got us on 1-2, and that's how they scored the 2 goals. Yes. Yes. Yeah. It's really a wake-up call. It is. We have to go back to the drawing board and see how we can rectify our play. Our play. Yes. Today, the midfield play did not work. That's why our defense was exposed. You said they were attacking from the midfield, and they are very fast, and they were playing 1-2. So when some of the defenders were coming to assist in the middle, they left the defense quite open, and that's why they got the 2 goals. Yes.
You noticed it was as if Maureen was the one alone in the midfield. A lot of unfitness in it. Could it be because Flavian has just come from an injury?
No. It's not because of Flavian. No, they've been training. Yeah, the guys have been training. It was just the small undoing, and that's where you lost it. So it's not Maureen that was. There are players who played very well. It's not only it's teamwork. It's teamwork. So I would not say that it's more that Maureen is the one who helped or played in the midfield. Yeah, they've got a number of guys who played well in the midfield. Yeah.
The gap between your midfield and attack was very wide. And most of the time, your strikers looked isolated. What is the reason?
I'll just work on the coordination next time. Just on the coordination. Right now, I cannot talk about the gap between we'll try and rectify in our next training. We still have time. The league has just begun. This is our 3rd match. We have many matches to play. We'll rectify that. Yeah.
Was a warning sign.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. It's a warning sign. Yeah.
Yeah, you have it, Saimo. She acknowledges that it's a warning sign for her. I talked to some of the players after the game, and for the first time they had a very long meeting in the back room, and I asked them what was going on, and they were like, ilikuwa wakati wa kuongea ukweli. And that's why I asked Ataro that question, because clearly you could see there was a lot of many unfitness really showed in that match. Maybe because Strathmore were very agile and very fast, and they knew how to maintain that tempo, when to calm down and when to come back up. But yeah, let's wait and see. She said she has lessons to pick, and she realized it's a wake-up call for the team.
Let me tell you the key difference between Strathmore and Blazers, and also USIU Blazers. I've also seen the same in teams like Parklands, in teams like KU, in teams like Multimedia. I've watched a couple of matches so far this season, and I can tell you the key difference, and I say this also to the club I play for. The key difference between whoever is winning matches and whoever is losing is how they handle their preseason training as well as their current in-season training. Most teams, most players, most coaches focus on weight loss training in terms of let's run for 1 hour, let's run for 30 minutes, let's run for 40 minutes, and don't actually take care of the match specific and match fitness training. It's one thing to run straight without the ball. It's another thing to run with the ball, bending, collecting the ball on the run, having those shuttle runs with those quick change of directions. It's different. Yeah, it's I'm not saying it's bad to train that way. It's not bad to have your players run for 30-40 minutes. It's not bad. It's good to maintain that physical fitness. But when it comes to match fitness, it's totally different. You can have someone, for example, right now you can take the fastest runner, in the athletics, and give them a hockey stick. They won't barely play for 1 quarter. They'll watahema waishe. So most teams right now, it's when they are realizing that actually we need to have that match fitness. So the fitness that the coaches need now to focus on is how fit are the players with the ball. How quick can they change direction? How quick can they do shuttles? How quick can a player commit themselves in an attack and run back to defend? That's why you see most teams, and you've heard Ataro saying or being asked that there's a huge gap between defense midfield or defense and attack. Why? Because players cannot be able to handle that intensity. Unapata mtu akishafanya shuttle 2-3 wameisha, but give that player a run, mwambie akimbie, let's say for 1 hour, they are going to be able to, because that's what they've been doing since COVID and in the preseason. But now remember, the ball moves faster, it changes direction. You need to cover a wider area in a small in a small pitch, kwa sababu let's say assuming that they were doing morning runs za 5 kilometers or 10 kilometers, City Park, it's a short space, but you might end up running the same kilometers, the same distance, but in a higher intensity than you are used to during those morning runs or evening runs.
Let me ask you a question before, even as we transition into Senge's comments. Do you think him using the video technology, is it helping him? Because he recorded the first 2 games of Strathmore, and I think in the second match is when he got what he wanted. And could this be something that is helping him, and he's having an edge and will help him in this league this year? Premier?
Yeah, absolutely. Whenever you're having an extra eye over your opponent, you'll always have something over them. When you sit down and analyze their runs, you sit down and analyze their patterns. Every team has a pattern. It's easy to spot a player and see that they have 2 or 3 options. For example, player A always passes to player C when they are given pressure on the left side, or player C always stands back and passes back to their guard player or defender whenever certain pressure points are applied. So video analysis is good, but it's quite intense. It's something that you can't just record a video and just take it home and admire the play. No, you need to look at the weaknesses as well as their strengths and see where you can exploit. I know Coach Senge. He has also trained me in analyzing matches, and I'm sure that's what he used. Moving forward, we also need to move with the times. Teams now need to start investing in scouting. Even if they won't have recordings, they can have their own coaches go sit down and watch a series of matches. Let's say you're playing, let's say Simon HC is playing Njuguna HC in the next 6 games. So Njuguna has to play 6 games until we meet. We can go and watch. We watch the patterns. We watch how they are going to take their set pieces. We watch how they are running, how their midfielders are running, how the forwards are positioning in key areas, how they are taking their long corners, and so on and so forth. So yeah, absolutely, scouting was played a huge factor. I didn't watch the match, but I saw Coach Senge taking the recordings in the first 2 games, and I know that he used those recordings to analyze the games and find those weaknesses and exploit them.
Let us listen to what he had to say after that game.
I'm proud of our performance. I'm proud of what the girls have done. But I'm also happy that we showed what we can do. We are not yet a finished product. We are work in progress. But I'm happy that I can see what some of the things that we're trying to work on in training every day coming into execution in the game. So I think we are not comfortable where we are. We can get better. We can do better. But it was a good start for us and a good result for us.
What was the secret?
In our analysis, we do a SWOT analysis of what the situation before us is. So we try to analyze their strengths, their weaknesses, the threats that they could pose versus the same for us. And we realized certain mismatches in there that we took advantage of and actually paid off. but we also knew what their threats were, and we tried to work against those threats. We tried to defend against those threats, and many times they've scored goals against us from pieces. Today they did not, and they've also scored goals against us on second post plays. I think we defended the second post plays well, and then we used our speeds and agility to now create the mismatches. So yes. I don't know. I don't know what tomorrow holds, but I know that we are still not a finished article. But we've got a good foundation to work with. We will not celebrate too much this win. We will celebrate it, yes, because it's a big achievement to play against the caliber of players that they have and post the results that we posted. But that is only for today. The next match is a totally different ballgame, so we will not be comfortable. We just want to be the best that we can be, when we can be, if we can be.
You have it.
Yeah, and you can see that, and you can hear that whatever he's saying it's not good enough, and that's what you need from a coach. You need a coach to tell you, yeah, you've beaten a top team, but you still have a whole season to go through. It doesn't mean that umepiga Blazers, ulipiga Wolverines, that you're at the top of the table, you think that you can sit pretty and relax. And as I wish I had listened to the clip earlier, the watu wasiseme that niliiba points from Coach Senge, but he's just said the same thing I was saying, that you have to analyze, you have to you have to check your weaknesses. For example, if I was setting up my team against Blazers, I know that Chebet does a slalom run. So whenever she's denied space, she's not effective with the ball. I didn't watch the match, but I can guess that's one of the things Senge did. Deny Chebet space. Space to run. For example, if I look at I'm trying to remember her name, the midfielder. She likes slapping the ball. Yes, Flavian. She likes slapping the ball. So what do? I just set up my team in such a way that they deny the passing lines, they block all the passing lines. We win the second balls, and then do a quick counter. Both coaches have talked of speed. You've talked of speed. That's what you do. Blazers are not used to having teams run towards them. And the fact that you've won those second balls, third balls, you do a quick run, and as you said, if they are not fit, and probably saying yes, so that they are not fit, the moment you have 3 or 4 waves of attack, by the time the sixth wave, the seventh wave is coming in, they are unsettled. They cannot be able to handle the intensity, and the panic sets in, as well as the team cannot handle the situation properly. But I like what the coach has said there, Coach Senge, and that's what, even when I was coaching, I used to tell my team: win, lose, or draw, the result is done. Done over with, focus on the next match. The best thing you can do is just pick on the mistakes, correct them as you move forward.
Okay, let's leave it at that. Let us switch gears
before we go there, Lakers are winning the league this season. That is for Felix Ochi. Thank you very much, Felix, for saying that. But I'll correct you there. They did draw against Kisumu, Lakers 2-2, but that was not the last time they dropped points. They actually dropped points in their last... No, actually he's correct. That's the last time they dropped points. Sorry, Ochi. A 2-2 draw against Lakers in Kisumu. We have Danko, who's saying, good evening, gentlemen. We are on it. Karibu sana, Danko. Now, you were saying something about Butali.
Yes, we need to switch gears and talk about Butali. Wewe ulikuwa umeona za pandits huko nje. But that was a nutcracker of a match. first of all, that game started with a lot of tension.
Mhm.
So much tension. These two teams seem to have just, was afraid of each other, and
Is it afraid
things
of each other, or is it afraid of each other, or they were giving each other some respect?
maybe it is respect. Well, but
Mm.
according to Shikuku,
Mhm.
the assistant coach for police, that was what he said. He said, tulikuwa tunashinda tukiogopa hao watu because
Mhm.
if you remember, that the both sides had their younger team,
Yeah.
put up to go to play because police started with a very very young team. I think the oldest person there was, or rather, someone who had experience in that game was probably Samuel, if I'm not wrong, and
Mhm.
uh, Birir at some point, who came in at some point. But Butali raided, and they got their 2 points.
Mhm.
Their two goals way early into the game, but you know a very technical change which brought about that huge change was a very good tactical move by the technical bench, of course, headed by Mugambi, and that changed completely the game. Because, and I'm going to just play the clip in a bit of how it went. But what I can say is one of the things that police need to work on moving forward is being sorry, being not so careful with the ball, especially when playing a team like Butali, because you know um, Masibo was punished. That first goal, he couldn't, he shouldn't have. Well, you can't really blame him because, well, I would blame him because he had turned to his strong side, but he seemed not to have
Mhm.
been very fast, which is unlike Masibo because Masibo is usually very fast with the ball, but
Mhm.
he wasn't so fast to release that ball, and that's what cost them their first goal. Onyango just went into it and got the ball in, and of course the second goal, as also it went, it was a very clinical finish from Butali, but um, experience again played a very very critical role in that match. Once again, police get two flicks and convert all the flicks through Samuel, and whether or not Obalo, made an umpire's mistake, I think that I'll leave it to other quarters. But I think, in my opinion, and even talking to the technical bench of Butali, they were like, we lost that game. Absolutely. There was a goal that,
Mhm.
a third goal that Butali had scored, but then um, Wiki had
It
given
was
it,
rolled
but
out. Mm.
it was ruled out later. But that is neither here nor there. Again, once again, because I have had a section of Butali, fans talking about it. So, but I must say, well, like we always say in this game, and you have mentioned it before, an empire's mistake, whether or not he has done a mistake, that is fine.
Mm. It,
For
it's
him,
it's it's part of the game. It's
yeah.
yeah. We will complain. We will
Mhm,
say that the Empire made mistakes, but it's part of the game.
mhm,
Uh, we don't have a video referee or a video umpire. The umpires will make them. And you remember in our last podcast, I said we need people who can handle the match, who can handle the intensity in the match.
mhm,
That being said, mistakes will always be there. Even the top referees we've seen in the pro league, they've made mistakes, but because we have a video reference, they are corrected. Now, in our case, we don't have that technology. So what do? We can't start complaining during a match and stop playing. We need to continue playing. That being said, there were two goals up. What happened? I did not watch the match, But those are the questions that you should be asking. Whenever you're playing against a top rival, you can't afford slip-ups. Whether they are due to an umpire's mistake or they are just you are just running out of luck. But you can, whenever you are 2 goals up, just know you are not safe. Hockey, you can. If you guys remember, there was a time KU were 4-0 up, 4-0 down against Mvita. And in the fourth quarter, the match ended 4-4. There was a time Thika Rovers were 2-0 up against JQuat. JQuat scored 3 goals in a matter of the last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter. You can never sit and say we are 2-0 up. Let's now see out the match. No, you need to always control the match. I feel sad that I didn't watch the match, but from what I've gathered from the people I've talked to, because immediately after the match, I got a lot of calls asking whether we had a recording for the game. We post the highlights, but from what I gather, it was a top match, and I feel sorry for myself. I didn't get to see it.
Yeah, and I think 6 minutes can make a huge difference in hockey.
Yeah,
That
it
is
can.
the biggest lesson for me.
You,
I think
you know, Jaquat, that game against the Carovas, Jaquat scored 2 goals in the last minute. So I remember the clock was 2.45. They scored at 2.38. The Carovas went started the match, and then Jaquat scored at I think it was 1.49 seconds, 1.49 minutes. So it's a matter of minutes. But let me just mention something because before you post the reaction from the coaches. I was having a discussion with one of the umpires, and I was saying that we need now to start having those seminars where the umpires actually train or educate about the rules. Obalo might give flicks because the rules have changed, but we don't know that the rules have changed. How many teams have forums with their coaches or umpires so that they are told these are the rule changes in 2022? And then KHU states that these rules will take effect immediately. You remember when the 5 yard that the 5 yard, I think it was the scoop pass, you have to give 5 yards. I can't remember the actual term in the rule book, but until now,
receiving was the issue.
Receiving. Until now, I can tell you for a fact that until now, that rule still confuses a lot of players. The umpire told me, well, it's the responsibility of the coaches and players to go learn for themselves. Yes, it is. But I also asked him, how many times have you bought something, let's say a phone, and you've gone through the user manual? Ukishanunua simu unaekanga sim card tuendelee kutumia. But there are those things that you can actually have refreshers, you can actually have seminars. They don't hurt. You can have a 2-hour seminar or 3-day seminar. Just have an online forum, Q&A to state these rules, so that by the time you are going back to the pitch, people are aware of the rule changes and they actually understand the rules, and we avoid all these things. I was actually shocked that the reason why players were getting cards for 5 yards for not observing 5 yards during a foul was to instill that discipline. But you look at it, we are still doing it. Players are disciplined, but you're still doing it. So should we continue doing it? Is it should we educate the players? But anyway, I think we need to have those seminars. KHUA need to start having those seminars. It's not necessary for them to have with everyone, but they can even do recordings or live forums. Nowadays, we have technology where you can do a Zoom meeting and people can join.
Something is coming up on Hockey Kenya regarding that. So I know this is something that is going to hope that it will impact people, because it's purely about umpiring, and we're going to talk about that. But that is coming up. So let us listen to the reaction of both the coaches on those on that game.
A tough draw, or are you a happy man?
I'm a man. Happy man. Coming from 2 down and drawing 2-2 within a span of 6 minutes. Hiyo ni kazi.
What worked for you?
Technical. Sababu kuna a few guys nilitoa nje. Alafu nikaleta Masibo on the left. Ndio hizo balls asilote wapi kwa G. Same case now the captain, and it worked. It worked for us. Yeah.
Seems like Samuel is the one who will carry for you this year.
And Samuel. Yeah.
And you seem to have perfected those.
We do it every day at the training section. We have to take those things. Oliver can do it, Masibo can do it, Sammy the best. Yeah.
But you also lost the game 70% of the time.
Second quarter and third quarter, we were totally down. Yeah. They raided on us. It was very bad. It was bad. Then we sat down and then we talked with my fellow coach. Yeah. And then we made those technical changes and it worked for us.
The boys played well. It's bad that we didn't win, but I think there are areas of improvement.
What are those areas of improvement?
Basically, it's game management. Leading with about 5 or 6 minutes to play, we need to hold the ball. Yes, and basically just hold the ball and play in the opponent's team.
Thanks.
Yeah, there you have it. Management and. For me, I think if you asked me, and this I told one of the management officials for Butali, in that last 10 minutes, because police really raided Butali, they needed to put in experienced players, because the likes of Tony were in the bench, and we all know Tony and how much he can, how much impact have on that team, because you only had now Fuchaka and Wahura, just left alone, and with the kind of change, and you've had that Mugambi and Shukuku decided to change and put. You can imagine how much impact that game had. That change alone, it had.
Yeah.
It made a difference at the end of the day, and you could hear it in his voice. The man was a happy man. It was a very beautiful day for them, especially what had happened, because this he said off cuff, that, but he allowed us to quote him on it. Shukuku had lost a 6-month old baby, and we're really sorry, Shikuku, for that.
Yeah, we pass our condolences to Shikuku, his family, and we hope that God gives you peace. We don't understand what you're going through, but we are with you, and we will support you all the way. We pass our condolences.
And so they basically dedicated that win to Shikuku and his family. And so you could tell they really needed, that win, and it sort of, gave them a bit of joy, because they were really happy. Someone asked me, kwani FC leo wamekuja kucheza mashabiki wa FC wamekuja kusupport, kwa sababu you could hear the drums even in the interview. You could hear the drums in the background. They were really happy, and they really wanted this win. And I must say the stadium was full to capacity, so which was a really good thing. It's good to see people back enjoying the game, and we hope to see more of this even as the matches continue.
But a serious point, though, don't you think that we lose revenue in such situations? Take it this way. Take it this way. Assuming that we had stalls around the stadium, and those stalls were providing goods and services, consumables, for example, drinks, for example, merchandise for the clubs. They were selling things that move fast. The other day we counted with you and we saw that we had 4, 5 traders, small traders in the stadium, and their stock ran out even before the matches had ended. So assuming we had stalls, okay, that's opportunity lost, that's revenue lost. But anyway, that's a discussion for
Another day.
for another day. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Let's look at the fixtures, or rather, some of the reviews from of the other games. For me, I think it's if you can go to the National League Eastern Zone. For me, the highlight was Daikyo Heroes. Their opening matches this weekend away, and they managed to get 6 points. Away in Nairobi, and it is a very good thing for them. 1-0 in their first game, and then Sunday they beat someone 2-0, which is a very good result. So I'm thinking, just like you had said, those two leagues, the National League Western and Eastern Zone, are the leagues to watch. I hope Felix can just tell us what's happening to his club Bay because kama wako what's happening?
So on Sunday we had Nairobi Chapel losing at home to Daikyo Heroes. Remember, Daikyo is a new club. They've just started playing the league. It's based in Mombasa. On Saturday, they beat Thika Rovers 1-0. So 4 points. No, sorry, 4 goals, 6 points, and a clean sheet. Well done to the Mombasa-based side. They just kicked off their league season. Then you had Kisii Falcons drawing 2-2 against Blue Pirates. Remember, these are also new teams that are coming in this season. Then in the league table, this is how it looks like. We have Impala at the top. This is the Eastern Zone. Impala, Daikyo, and Gorillas have all played 2 matches, but Impala is at the top based on the goal difference. You can see they have 5 goals. They've scored 7 so far, 6 points each shared. Daikyo are second with 4 points. Then, with a goal difference of 4 and 6 points. And then we have Gorillas.
Which is a very good thing.
Yeah. UON are fourth. At the bottom is newcomers Nairobi Chapel, who've played 3 and lost all 3. In the Western Zone, we have Blue Pirates at the top. They've played 3 matches, won 1, drawn 1, lost 1, with a goal difference of 0. They've scored 4, conceded 4. They have 4 points. Nandi Hawks, they've played 1 match with 3 points. Kitale, 1 match with 3 points. But Nandi Hawks, of course, above Kitale based on goal difference. We have Bungoma with 1 point. At the bottom of the league, we have University of Eldoret. They've played 1 match against Nandi Hawks, which they lost 1-0. Moving forward to the Super League Women, let's have a look there. So we have the following results. We have JKUAT drawing 1-1 against Multimedia University. Nairobi Chapel lost 4-0. Sorry, that's the previous game week. We only had 1 match being played. That's JKUAT 1-1. The upcoming fixtures are as follows, but they are in April. So Nairobi Chapel will be playing against MSC. I think we shall preview that next time. Moving to the Premier League Women, other than the big match that was played, we also had the following matches. On Saturday, we had Blazer Strathmore. We've reviewed that 0-2, and Sailors drawing 0-0 against Sliders. Sliders, you remember what I told you about Sliders, Njugush? They are a team that will itashtua watu, because whenever you expect them to lose, they draw or win. Whenever you expect them to win, they lose. So lakini I'm sure mali wako namba.
I saw a good friend Thomas, in the papers. He doesn't seem to be happy with those draws. If you can just look at their league table, they are currently 4th with 2 draws from 2 matches and no goal at all. And I don't know what is, but anyway, let's wait. What's her name? Ataro said the league has just started, so wacha timu ziwarm zikiwa tayari sasa zitakuja, but it's good to see finally Sliders get a point.
A point.
Yeah, but we don't know when, because Lakers, which is a very good side, have not played any match. I think they're playing this weekend, if I'm not wrong. If we can look at the fixtures.
Yeah, they are playing. No, they are not playing this weekend. This weekend you have Sailors versus USIU at 3 p.m. Moving forward to the Super League men, this is another league that I think people are not quite interested in, but it's a very competitive league that people should follow. Look at that. We have SIC who have played 4, won 3, 3-1. They have 10 points. We have KCA who have played 5 matches, have won 3, have lost 2, have 9 points. JQuat 2, 4 points. Sorry, KCA have 9 points. JQuat 4. Look at the next 4, the next 4 teams.
Yeah.
4, 4, 4, 4. But Parklands have played 4 matches. They recently won their match against KU over the weekend, which took them to 6th place. And then look at the bottom half. You have Pacro Tigers with 2. Let's start with Wazaleno Masters. 2, 2, 2, 1.
Tuanze na klabu yako. Tuanze na klabu yako. What is happening, my friend?
Sichezi. Hiyo ndio shida.
But you're part of technical bench. What advice are you offering?
The problem with me is that my availability of late has been very limited. I can't speak much about what's happening behind the scenes, but I'd say that unfortunately I'm traveling up and about quite a lot. But hopefully from next month I'll be available to help the technical team coaching as well as also get back to the pitch and play. That's all I can say at the moment regarding that situation. Yeah.
But it's a very interesting league, the Super League men. I don't know if the change of venue for SIC Union
Simba
is really helping them. Yeah. Or Simba.
I don't think it matters really, because Simba is an experienced team, regardless of whether they play at their home ground or they play at City Park. This is a team I expect to go back to the
Premier League.
Premier League. In fact, I expect them to go throughout the season unbeaten unless something happens. This is an experienced side. For me, I think this season tupatie to Simba, the rest to pigania the second position.
How about KCA? Because these two teams are the ones that.
That's already put on the spot. I know Willis and Ken na Wambugo na Nyaga wataninyonga for saying this, but KCA usually start the season very well, but towards the end the wheels start falling off. I don't know what happens. If Coach Willie can sort that out, then they will be playing the Premier League. They have Wakona experience. They are a team that have played together for the past 5 seasons. They understand each other. They have some new players that have just come in, and I watched their last match.
He has a lot of depth.
It has a lot of depth. But unfortunately, towards the season end, somehow you find them that they are losing points. So if they can be able to sort that out, well and fine. The other team that
maybe it's the issue of players being out of session, and because they are not being able to be accommodated, or rather they are not playing, they're not having enough time to practice and even come and do their matches. Probably that's one of the things that affects them. But anyway, I think we need to have Willis here so that he can give us a bit.
Yeah, but a team that people should look out for is the one second last position, Mvita. Mvita have had a shake-up. They've had a rebuild. Remember, some of their players moved to Daikyu. They have new players coming in. They've done a rebuild. They've done some restructuring in the organization. and no one knows how they are going to play. I watched them during the Mombasa tournaments, and they are a solid side. They have changed tact. They've changed how they are playing matches. Remember, we are used to seeing Vita having Farhan in hitting the balls towards the circle, but now there are teams that are trying to build play. They have quick players. They have players that are trying to dribble to get into the circle. So the Mvita that we are going to see this season is a completely different side. So that's a team you should watch out for in the Super League.
Mhm.
Yeah. Mm.
Okay, good. Let's look at the Premier League.
Yes. If we look at the Premier League there, sorry. As you can see, we have Battalion Police. So look at that table. 4-4-4, top three.
Mhm.
4 points
And,
each.
and even the goals for goals
Goals
against and
against.
goals difference.
So basically, difference is alphabetical order.
Yeah.
That's the difference here between the
Mm.
first two. You look, actually,
All of them, it's
all of
alphabetical
them,
order.
it's
Yeah.
alphabetical order.
Yeah.
Then Wazalendo won their match, so they have 3 points. We have Green Sharks on 3 points, and then you have ESIU who have two draws, and that's on 2 points. At the bottom of the league, we have Park Road who've just played one match. They have no points. Western Jaguars are yet to start their campaign. MSC as
This
well.
weekend they must be having a game on Sunday.
So this weekend, April 2nd,
I'm
you are
not
going to
sure.
have Sailors versus Western Jaguars. They are going to play at
Mhm.
City Park Stadium at 6 p.m. This is also another very good match to watch. Sailors, we know
Yeah.
they are very good and organized side. They're going to play against another very good and young organized side. They have players who've played with each other. They understand each other since they started playing with each other in high school. Most of them come from the same school in high school. And then on third, you have Kenya Police versus Western Jaguars. That's another very interesting match to watch. And then we have
Mhm.
Butali versus Park Road. That's also another good match to watch. That being said, let's move quickly to the latest news in Jugush. Nairobi County did their elections last weekend. Unfortunately, we don't have the list of officials, but we have two or three that have retained their seats. Do you mind telling us who they are?
I only know of one. I'll be
Mm,
very honest, and that is Tom Olal, who is the Secretary General, and oh yeah, actually two. Um,
mm,
Solanki has
mm.
also retained his seat as treasurer, and then we have a new president, and that is the legend himself, Polo Mani, who is taking over from what's his name, former or rather Blazers
Jos. Mm,
Jos, yes, Jos Openda.
mm,
Yeah.
yeah. And then KHU have started scouting for players to participate in the under 18 hockey championships. I'm trying to get the news on that. Yeah, so the Africa Under 18 hockey tournament is scheduled in Egypt in August 2022, and KHU need to start early preparations by requesting counties and clubs to nominate players who, in their opinion, can represent the country. So they've started early preparation. So now it means that they are going to have two teams. They are going to prepare two teams this season. Remember, we have the Birmingham Commonwealth Games as well as the under 18 ones. It's a very, very busy schedule, busy calendar for hockey this year. Remember that the Junior World Cup is also in August. The Women's Junior World Cup is also in August. Unfortunately, Kenya is not going to represent us. So, good start by KHU. At least now we are seeing some methodology in terms of how they are selecting teams as well as they are preparing the teams early for the national assignments.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's true. And also we have what is it called? The Pro League is resuming this weekend.
Yeah.
England are traveling over to India. The men, the ladies could not because some COVID issues, and then because some of their players are also in the what is it called? The one that is happening in South Africa,
Mm.
starting to 2nd, which is what, Friday or Saturday.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Mm.
So they don't have enough people to play, so they, I think, requested FIH and India also to postpone their ladies match. So very interesting games. Of course, the games will be, you can watch the games on watch.hockey. That is one of the places you can watch. And also in Tanzania, if we can cross back to that side. And I think next week we are going to have their, what is it called? Anyway, one of the officials will be able to join us next week and just talk about what is happening in Tanzania. But the Mapinduzi hockey tournament happened last weekend, Friday through to Sunday. And Moshi Halsa managed to retain their men's title. Once again, they beat Tanzania People Defense Forces. That is the one club with the longest number of names. Yeah, but they beat them post penalty shootouts 4-2 in penalty shootouts. This is after they drew 1-1 with in the full time match. Very interesting. Seemed to be a very interesting game. And it's good to see hockey coming back in East Africa. Of course, Uganda, the league is going on. This weekend will be the 3rd week. In fact, next week, I think we should try and cover some of those games. But yeah, nonetheless, that is, in summary, what is happening around hockey this week, or rather what has been happening in the past week.
Yeah. That being said, Jugosh, I think you'll hold the fort over the next 2 or 3 weeks. Unfortunately, I won't be around, but I'm sure Jugosh is going to hold the fort, and you're going to enjoy much more content. Thank you very much, Jugosh. I love our fans because our fans usually give us feedback. They tell us what we need to do, what we need to improve on, and for the support as well. It's usually good to see people coming up and saying, yeah, you're doing a good job, correct upper. If you need our support, yeah, you have it. Always feel free to support the show. And before I ask Njugush for his final words, there's something I wanted to say. Oh yeah, we are coming up to that age where teams, clubs, as well as the counties are starting to see the need to use social media, to use all platforms to promote their matches, to promote their activities, as well as relay information about what's going on. That is good. And remember, Jugush, we are yet to have a session where we take that into discussion. But I would like just to commend all the teams, all the guys that are actually sitting down, coming up with graphics. I'd say at first it's usually exciting to start. There gets to a point where you see that probably it's a waste of time, but don't get discouraged. Continue promoting your matches. It's good to see the likes of Kisii Falcons, Blue Pirates, Wazalendo, Park Road, come up with these nice graphics to promote their matches. Also Blazers as well as the women's side, Sailors. We're also seeing guys posting short clips on TikTok, posting short clips on Facebook, on Twitter, and that's what we need.
UN is very vigilantes, rather. They're very
vigilantes. We also have there's this very, very nice page you need to follow. It's for a club called Gorillas. Wanakuanga na banta ingine mzuri sana. It's good to see that. Continue doing it.
I think Ochi can tell us whether he denies or he confirms that.
Yeah, Jugush, your final thoughts before I read the comments and then we call it a night.
I think one last thing that I had forgotten, and it drew a lot of reactions this week, is a story we posted about on hockey254.com about Bernard Kubasu, aka Bernard, who, after a 2-year term, gracefully exited the seat and left over to one Peter Karanja, who is now the president of Wazalendo. And
kwa wale hawajui Peter Karanja ni ule huwa mnamuita Eto.
Eto, yes.
Wasianze
Yes.
kushindwa Peter Karanja ni nani.
Yeah, so that is very good. Just again, tying up to what you had said about social media, it's good to see clubs posting such things so that it's good information out there, and people get to know what is happening. And you never know, sponsor can see something happening, and they pumping into money into this sport. And that is why for us we do this every Wednesday and every day to ensure that we tell hockey stories in Kenya, in East Africa, and of course around the world. And that is a good thing. And lastly, if you'd like to join me on this seat, because I can't do this show alone, please just go to our inbox and hit me up, and I will get you. I have 3 weeks, so I can host one person every week. And let's do this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not even host. You can you can have someone who's not necessarily. Sorry, I meant you have a guest host. So if
Yes,
you're
that's
interested in doing a podcast, you're interested in joining our podcast. Oh my God, I think I'm getting so tired. If you're interested in joining this podcast, just give us a shout out, and then Jugusha to organize vile to join. Now, to some comments. Good job, guys. Simon Odhiambo is saying, Asante sana. We appreciate that you're watching. Danko says, Kenya police were consistent from the start to the end of the match. Yeah, consistency will always make a difference. If you believe in a tactic, and if you believe that you have a plan B, plan C, plus plan Y, plan Z, it will work. Caroline Mabwe says, it's not over until it's over. Until the umpire blows the whistle, sidhani umewin match. And then Hakim Mutai anapewa shout out hapo. Some improved communication from KHU, a great step in the right direction. Yeah, give credit where it's due. KHU are doing a good job. At least now we are starting to get those communications or communique coming out about how things are being done. So as I said, I'll miss you guys. See you after a month or 3 weeks. Need to sort something out, but I'll always be available. I'll try to watch the shows from wherever I'll be. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy your night. Cheers and bye-bye.